Steve Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." The story of Beyond Meat is one of those startup stories tagged crazy, as it simply doesn't make a lot of sense to replace beef, poultry, and pork meats with plants, especially in a country like the United States, which is considered to be the largest meat consumer in the world, single-handedly consuming a quarter of the total beef consumed in the world. But I guess craziness is a yardstick to measure how successful your business idea would be. So, how crazy is your idea? In this video, we will explore the craziness of Beyond Meat and how its founder converted the crazy remarks and critics from naysayers into a company worth over $8 billion. Hey everyone, and welcome to Booked, where we inspire others with inspiring stories. In today's story, we'll go over the story of Ethan Brown and his company, Beyond Meat. In an interview with CNBC, Ethan Brown, CEO of Beyond Meat, said, "A new idea is crazy until it is not." And we agree with him. People generally do not subscribe to what they don't understand. Your work as entrepreneurs is to go out there and prove them wrong. Before we go into the tiny details about how Ethan Brown converted negative comments into a successful company, perhaps we need to first look at how he came up with the idea of plant-based meats. Ethan was born in Washington, D.C., to a professor father who despised city life. So his father would take him to their neighborhood farm every weekend after work and during the summer. It was during the periodic farm visits that Ethan fell in love with animals and plants. Ethan Brown recalls interacting with nature and playing with the animals during his visits to the farm. Growing up, Ethan had always wanted to make a significant impact in the world. I guess this is the most important trait of most world changers. They start from just wanting to make an impact, then they go on to build solutions that would outlive them. While in his thoughts of ways he can change the world, Ethan Brown decided to approach his father for advice. Ethan's father didn't give him a direct response. Instead, he asked Ethan Brown a striking question: what is the world's largest problem? Ethan refers to this question as what shaped his thoughts and passion for Beyond Meat. Let's say Ethan's father played a role of a mentor in his life and helped shape his thoughts towards the biggest problems to solve. I cannot overemphasize the roles mentors can play in our lives. Most successful people have mentors guide them to success. For Ethan, it was his father. For you, it may be someone else. It could even be a book written by someone you admire. In all your efforts to build amazing startups that would disrupt industries, ensure you have someone that plays the role of mentor in your life. You could avoid several mistakes by just learning from them and avoiding their mistakes. Ethan Brown's early passion for the environment later influenced him to pursue an MBA with a focus on the environment at Columbia University. From there, he would go on to fully explore careers in the environment sectors. He first worked as an energy analyst for the National Governors Association Center for Best Practices, and later as a clean energy executive for Canadian fuel cell firm Ballard Power Systems. It was not until 2009 that Ethan Brown took the bold steps to quit his job and start Beyond Meat. Today, it appears to be the best decision, but he would never have come this far if he didn't take the step. Most times, the barrier between us and our financial freedom is just one bold step. It may not work out well all the time, but trust me, it is better than living with the regret of not trying at all. How it all started. Although Ethan Brown forged a career in the energy sector, he still pondered about the question his dad asked him while growing up: what is the world's largest problem? So even though he joined the world's biggest energy companies, he felt there was something more he could offer. The question from his father was the driving factor. Now pause for a minute and answer our question. What is driving you? What is the one impact you want to make on Earth? If you have answers to these questions, then it may just be the time to get to work. But if not, don't worry. Keep watching this video and you may just be able to have answers. You see, aside from falling in love with nature during the weekend visits to the farm, Ethan was also a curious person. He would ask himself why some animals are kept on the farm and others at home. Why some animals are butchered and some others pampered as pets. Ethan couldn't get his head around these discrepancies, but one thing was certain: He wanted all the animals to be given the same level of treatment. But with his growing interest in the environment and his work at the energy firm, which is environmentally focused, it was not long before Ethan came across research that would answer the question the father once asked him. Ethan stumbled upon research that attributes the rapid climate changes to animal-related activities. The research presented a report of the staggering amount of water, carbon dioxide, energy, and land animal-related activities consumed every year, which negatively impacts the climate tremendously. Here it is. Ethan had finally seen a problem he considered one of the biggest world challenges. How is he going to stop people from killing animals, or perhaps give them an alternative to meat? Now you know why people think he was crazy. How do you wake up one morning and decide to stop meat consumption? And oh, you're not the government. Well, Ethan didn't let the people who criticized the idea stop him from taking action. A crazy idea that has come to stay. Now that Ethan had figured out an idea that was big enough and could potentially help treat animals equally like he always wanted, Ethan Brown got to work. Since people are likely not going to like the idea of not eating meat, how can he make an alternative to meat without killing animals? Through constant research and curiosity, Ethan Brown came across two researchers, Fu Hung Se and Harold Huff, who were working on a method that could more accurately replace meat using plant-based proteins. Brown quickly purchased the method's technology license and created Beyond Meat in 2009. Despite working for over 8 years at a top energy firm and was due for a chief executive position, Ethan Brown tossed it away and resigned from his job to pursue his passion. It takes a lot of passion and determination to leave a white-collar job where you're the boss to go fry burgers in the kitchen. However, one significant lesson from quitting his job is the art of timing. Ethan Brown didn't quit his job when he was still researching the idea. He quit his job only later the idea took shape. Perhaps he was able to buy the license from the researchers with the money he saved from his job. Well, everything went uphill from there. Although Ethan has mentioned a few cases where naysayers doubted his products by saying it tasted like crap, not good enough to replace meat, and so on, Ethan said he prints the comments of the naysayers and pastes them in his office to serve as motivation for him each day at work. A lot of people thought he was crazy by thinking he could replace meat, but according to his interview with CNBC, most of those people who thought he was crazy are the ones now pushing eating his plant-based burger daily. Not only has Ethan Brown converted his passion for preserving the animals and the environment into a multi-billion-dollar company, but he's also lured top investors like Bill Gates to invest in his business. Today, Beyond Meat is worth over $8 billion, and Ethan Brown is reportedly worth over $400 million. Furthermore, he's been able to significantly contribute to climate change. According to a study conducted by the University of Michigan researchers for Beyond Meat in September 2018, the researchers observed that Beyond Meat burgers produce 90% fewer greenhouse gas emissions and consume 46% less energy than cattle burgers. They also used a lot less land and water. These were the exact problems Ethan Brown discovered from the research paper he read earlier, and now he is gradually solving the problem. Do not let the naysayers make you feel you're not good enough. They just don't understand your idea. All you need is convert the negative energies to motivation and go out there and prove them wrong. Some lessons along the journey. While we have focused more on the success of Ethan Brown, it is important we also mention the challenges that are part of the journey to success. It is all a matter of how you treat the challenges and the lessons you learn from them. So before we conclude, let's just take a little moment to see some of the challenges Ethan Brown faced. We'll share just two of them. The first one was at a very early age, even before he founded Beyond Meat. Ethan was dismissed by the board of directors of the energy and environment nonprofit that he founded in his early 20s. His passion for the environment led him to start his organization, which is also successful. He hired a board of directors for the nonprofit, but somewhere along the line, Ethan Brown fell out with his board members, and that led to his being axed from the NGO. I guess it hurts to get kicked out of your company, but the hack is to not let it put you down. A similar example is the story of Steve Jobs, who was kicked out of Apple as well, but in both cases, they both triumphed and bounced back better. The second challenge was about financing. Unlike most unicorns, Ethan didn't start with venture capital. Most of the early VCs he approached turned him down. I mean, nobody was convinced that this crazy young dude was going to replace meat. They considered it dead on arrival. But you know what winners do? They don't quit. Ethan Brown invested every penny he had into Beyond Meat. And when his money was not enough, he liquidated his kids' school savings and put them all into the business. Crazy, right? See, in life, if you cannot take a bet on yourself, no one will. Well, family and friends soon saw through his passion and determination and started contributing towards his business. He will later start raising investments from some VCS who also believed in his determination. Today, the rest, they say, is history. If you are not bold enough, nobody will support you.